coming to the highest night entertainment broadcasting station. The finished product, the great majority of cases, the most satisfactory program from different viewpoints. However, you listen have to give out an on-time message program.
All right, mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Welcome everybody to Chart Talk.
What up?
It's your boys. First and foremost,
Episode 29.
First and foremost, I want to personally. Oh, I forgot that I couldn't. My bad. There you go. You're good. But first and foremost, I want to go ahead and say shout out to P. Making the dedication to make it out to these chart talks every night. He's been holding it down. Sometimes I'm either I'm busy doing something else, or like this weekend I'm a little sick or under the weather, but he holds it down, and that's just my boy. I just wanted to give that special shout out to him first and foremost.
Appreciate you, homie.
Absolutely.
Reality is, you have a family. You have a wife and kid. So I technically do not have that.
But you got it.
I'm able to be a little more flexible, I'd say, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you be holding it down like a mug too, bro. Don't get it twisted. You've been doing this thing for a long time. So, and this is just another top-down weekly analysis. This, technically, we've been doing Chart Talk for 29 episodes. I don't know how many top-down weekly analyses we've done in a row in our life, bro.
All I know is that there's no way in hell in a year that I haven't done that I've missed 5.
No.
I don't think that's possible in the whole year that I've missed that I would do 5 weeks.
I don't think you've missed 5 in 3 years. So
sheesh. Damn, hey bro, that's love.
That could be possible,
but that's love. It might be that
what
might be
we're
the
gonna
number.
do.
That might be the number. That's love though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're just as consistent as me technically. So what I'm feeling like doing today is kind of splitting up my indicators a little bit with just having my volume on one side and then just clean price action with a little bit of momentum on this side. And then what we're also going to do today is I'm going to have AB on the other side, of course, looking at his kind of, because everyone looks at the market different, no doubt. Like if we were to take all these indicators and everything away, it would be maybe a little more similar with me and AB, but we have our edges in the market, and he's going to be looking at a specific indicator that he looks at on his side, and if he sees something
that I need to get in the habit of getting, I need to get back in the habit of watching it.
and so whenever I'm on here, watch your screen and look at your like 4 hour, 1 hour type. And I mean, and even those like really juicy 1 hour plays, but I mean, right now we're kind of top down trying to stay on those higher time frames right now. So, but
oh gosh,
this is what we're going to be looking at first. Let's look at the DXY. And so we have to the right, we have the volume profiles. And woof, there's a lot over here. And let's remove drawings on both of these and see, make sure that if when I draw on this left one, it's going to show up on the right one. That is something. Why doesn't it do that, man? Let's go over here and make sure that sync and layout. It should, whenever I draw on this chart.
Right here. I got you. There you go.
Right there, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my dude. Okay, perfect. Okay.
I remember
but that's fine.
I remember I had to mess around with it a little bit. I was like, where is this thing? I know it's here somewhere.
Right. Okay, so when I'm here on the weekly, these big boxes right here, this is going to be, and you know, if I'm doing this more or less for everyone else's eyes, honestly, just because I'm so used to how these volume profiles look, but I know a lot of people, it might be confusing, and so that's okay. Let's make it full screen. But these big boxes right here, what it's showing you is the full year of 2020's volume profile. And the volume profile is basically just the volume turned on its side. And you can see right here that on 2020, where we had this big run, or sorry, 2022, we had this big run up. This price right here at 106.81 in the futures market, which is pretty close to the same in the spot market and every other market, is where the most volume was in 2022. So that's definitely an interesting area. A lot of times price comes back into areas of high volume, especially if it rejects other areas. And then to the right, I have on the full screen, it's just going to be everything. So it's a little hard to get used to read, but for me, it's just something I've been looking at for a long time. And then you can see here, just simple price action to the left. It's a lot more cleaner to look at. It's a little bit easier for people's eyes. So just a clean level that we're starting to maybe react at. It could either go one or two ways. We either just faked this low and we're coming back above this level, or we're about to kind of fake this level and close below this level, right? And continue down. And it doesn't mean we have to just continue down forever. It could just be like a little kiss and then see what happens next. But with the price action that we got last week and the volume coupling it, it's not giving a whole lot on the weekly. The momentum is starting to pull up though, that's for sure. But we're coming right in this area where we have literally just hit it and moved so quickly on the weekly time frame. So it's something that I'm kind of waiting for the market to do something super interesting, I think, and we'll see about it on the lower time frames. And then this price up here just is a little too far away, in my opinion, to care about this week. We can mark it off up here, but it's just a little. I don't think we're gonna get up there this week. All right, let's go into the daily.
I agree.
And I forgot I messed with these a little bit. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, the RB Smizak on this.
Well, that's why we got to continue to look at it, bro.
Yeah, the daily time frame RB, like, damn, bar for bar.
It is a good edge. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. We got the dollar still swinging down the past, let's call it, since September 28th. The market has just continued to make lower lows and not put in a higher high at all. This is more or less the first little momentum jump that we've seen, and you can see it over here. How there is just a little bit of momentum. We haven't had this much momentum since October. So is it possible that the dollar is going to move up? Yes, but we do have this fib right here, and let's make this dark so we can all see this. Perfect. And so here on the left, the market came in, just perfectly tapped the 78.6.
Dang, you did that on Friday, huh?
Yep, gave it a rejection candle as well. So we could be seeing this start to turn around here. We are at a monthly level. Okay, that's where we marked this off on the monthly. And now the market is showing a little bit of rejection at a discounted price in the fib levels. So let's go into the 4 hour and see what we're talking about. Now, before we go into the 4, I guess what I will say is, if this isn't an area of rejection, the market is likely coming into this area sooner than later, right? Or sooner or later, whatever the term is, right? The market's going to be seeking into this level next. All right. Just like, remember when we were down here and we were waiting for the market to come hit this level, and then there was another one down here that it never hit. It came and hit this level perfectly and then moved off of it. It'll be a similar situation to that. What does the RB say on the daily?
So, did you want me to go ahead and share my screen with that?
Yeah. Is it you're already able to share it and it just switches over?
Yeah. Just go ahead and you'll be able to see it once you stop once you stop sharing it, I believe.
Stop share?
Yeah.
Okay, boom.
Okay, there you go. So, going on over here to the DXY, and I was already looking at it on my laptop, but yeah, on the daily time frame, this really, it did great actually when it comes to my confirmations and everything. You know, it broke out, retested this, actually retested it multiple times, and then went bullish. I like where it's holding right now for that bearish bias, because this is like the mean line, right? It's the middle of these two bands right here. So right here is a potential area where we can really start to see a potential turnaround on the dollar. But like P said, if this is not a rejection, this is just gonna keep going bullish on and that's for the daily time frame. The 4 hour doesn't have anything ready yet, but I want you to go onto the lower time frames before I talk more about this.
Perfect.
But yeah, it gave full confirmations all right here.
Bet.
So I'll go ahead and stop, and then you can go ahead and share again.
Perfect. Okay. So we have on the 4 hour, last week's volume is sitting just perfectly right here on the dollar. So what's going to need to happen, in my opinion, is the dollar's going to have to get below this level. And that would be 103.21 if it's going to go bearish. And it's kind of interesting. These volume levels don't necessarily need to be like super support and super resistance. They're more of areas where the market is going to come into. So at it's kind of tough because now we have this look right here, and the market could come into the 61.8 and make another move to the upside. But I'll tell you this, we've been waiting for this area down here to get swept out for really not too forever, but ever since it made
That bullish
this
move.
impulse, right? Yeah, we've been, well, first it made this move. It made an accumulation. It made a spring. It made the tiniest test ever, and then it broke out of this pattern. So we're still thinking it has a chance to come back into, this area down in here. And there is definitely volume, or was volume, the week that it happened right in here. So that's another price that we're looking at if potentially for this weekend. And like we say, every weekly top-down analysis is not really for finding the trade, because during the week the market is just going to move. It's going to correlate a little differently. So sometimes the dollar could just, right, tomorrow we could wake up and say this is just already here. Well, that's a little up in the air. It looks like this level's probably rejecting. We probably don't want to buy that already. We're probably going to expect the market to get here, right?
Yep.
So then maybe we would play something like this instead of looking for a buy. But for another example, say the market does kind of chop around up here for a while, maybe do this and then come back into this level. Well, it might look a little differently, right? So that's kind of the reason why we're not looking for trades right now. We're just kind of looking at where opportunities lie in the market right now. What does the 4-hour look like for RB? Is it already kind of done its move right here, probably?
Yeah. So 4-hour RB right now is not even faked out. Like, it gave this sell opportunity right here, but it wouldn't have been a play that I would have looked for, because I need that break and retest. And so
it's setting up for sells.
It's it's setting up for sells basically, but we still need basically. I feel like that fib that you were just talking about, this fib right here.
Mm-hmm.
If this happens, then I wouldn't be looking for anything on the 4-hour.
Because I don't really want to play that bullish move. I don't think I want to wait for it to break that low.
You want this one instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one looks a little better, because on the 4-hour time frame, from as far as what I can see, or for as far as what I would be able to tell would happen, would be something like price would push down, and it'll of course make its choppiest move down here, but then this third deviation will be climbing up to the 78.6, 71% area. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yep, that looks perfect.
That's what I would probably be looking for on the 4-hour.
That looks perfect. I like that a lot. And then
you want to see the 1 hour since I'm here?
No, I want to stay off the 1 hour today, just because it's
high. I get you. You're right.
A little lower. And then we can note this here, this divergence on the 4-hour, definitely present. Also, you can see the volume here. It kind of started to decrease as price started to go up. So those are just some things. Yes, this can just continue up. The structure is bullish, but at a certain point in a bullish structure, I like to find where the probability lies that it's going to continue, or it's going to maybe not continue. I see possibly one more wave up, but after that, I'm looking for this to drop for real, actually. So let's look at the Euro, which is the same thing as EU, everyone. Promise. Let's remove drawings on this and go into the weekly. Let's get this down here. And it has been showing some rejection. Thought I've removed drawings.
Oops, that's my bad.
Oh, you're good. Do I need to share it?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, bet. But yeah, it's kind of the inverse of the dollar. every time. We just want to share that with y'all. But I think it has kind of a similar look to it, or similar opportunity as the dollar, where if it does what we want, where's the full, there we go. Now this has this volume way down in here, so it's kind of interesting. The dollar's volume is a little different, but it has volume actually way up here and way down here from last year and the year before. But
it's interesting.
I want to hide that. I just like looking at that on the weekly time frame. Last week gave maybe a rejection, just an indecision candle. Most likely we're gonna see it continue down, in my opinion, just because with this type of momentum, that's just kind of a candle that put up a fight maybe, and it did have a good amount of volume. 1, 2, I mean, more volume than we've seen besides this big bearish candle in a while, but to me it just looks possible to the downside. Let's go on to the daily.
Yeah, that weekly crazy.
And then this is last week's area of where there was the most volume, so this is definitely a price. Let's put the weekly point of control, or is it last week or all of February? Last month, or this month, excuse me, monthly point of control. And so that's going to be a price that if it gets back into that, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Actually, I'm not necessarily looking for a trade off of it, because we do have this extremely bullish market, and then here we have this fib, so it's kind of like the opposite of the dollar, right? The dollar hit the 78.6, the euro hit the 78.6, so this is probably going to continue up. But you know, like I said on the weekly, it just had an indecision, so there's not really a read off the weekly. The daily, in my opinion, it might be getting ready. I need to go to the 4 hour, because it has been going kind of slow here, real sideways. Now this is a reversal pattern, and then I like doing this on
zoom out a little bit. Let me see where you started that fit. Interesting. Unless this is a different chart, the Euro USD that I'm looking at, the 78.6 didn't get hit on Euro USD.
Well, it hit on the euro. That's interesting. They're usually spot on.
Like I agree with you. Let me check a different Euro USD chart, because I drew up this on 2 different charts, but that I agree. They're usually like spot on. It's funny because on a different chart that I had, it hit a 4-hour POC that had been untested, and it literally tapped it and turned right around. So that's fire.
Oh yeah, it's on.
Yeah, it barely missed on EU.
That's crazy. Well, here's an area right here where there was some volume that came in, tapped right into this, right above the 78.6, but then it did hit that 78.6 and started to move. So I'm not saying it can't go any lower, because it definitely can, but I'm probably looking for this to start to move to the upside, actually. What am I going to need to see for that? I actually just need to slip onto this 1 hour and
man, I don't know if I'm
to be honest, it's a little too early, but if you're a pattern trader, you know, you have some confirmation how it has kind of hit this bottom of this pattern 3 times, and it should move up to the next pattern, but it's a little early in the week. You know, here is your 78.6 that got hit, so you have some higher time frame confirmation. Definitely, if it gets there tomorrow at the right time of day and it has all the other confirmations, you know, I think it might be worth might be worth a shot to the upside. There is volume actually
untested volume down there. I'm with it for sure.
Yeah, now it's looking really good. So for the euro tomorrow,
This
We're
is
looking
exactly
forward
what
to
I
coming.
wanted to happen. Just I needed it to hit the 78.6 on freaking EU. Like, but this is literally exactly what I wanted to happen.
Perfect. Well, that looks really clean for this week.
The only thing that would have made it better is if it would have broken above 1.2000. That's the only thing that would have made it better.
Oh, if it would have broken above this level, it would have been just
That would have just
perfect.
been like perfect. Yeah, that's the only thing that could have made it better. But I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm here for this. Okay, let's go
Let me see what
into.
RB talking about.
Yeah, go ahead and show RB real quick.
Oh yeah. Okay, show that. Connect. Okay, so Mr. Arbitrage, what you got cooking for us? Okay, so daily time frame. Got it called for the sells right there. The inverse of the dollar, right? Literally the inverse of the dollar. This one would have been a little bit more trickier, a little bit, because it would have only been off of this candlestick right here that this confirmation would have been given. So that's kind of interesting with Euro USD. But overall, this candlestick call for the sell. Price dropped again. Price can literally start to turn around right here. So like I said, I'm so here for that possible turnaround. And again, like you said with the dollar, you know how the dollar's looking for a sell. This is potentially looking for a buy. Just would need a breakout of this zone, but I wouldn't want to play this 4 hour. I'd rather play what you just talked about, literally. And the 1
Yeah.
hour, it's right there, but this is a no play. It's a no play.
Interesting. So it's close though on the 4.
Yeah, it's very close on the 4. Like I said, if it would have broken this high right here, that's the only thing that would have made this better. But I'm still down for trying to sell that. Trying to buy this when it comes down here. I'm still here for it, so.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the pound.
GBP. Okay.
All right. So on the weekly, it's another indecision candle, but it's giving me some range vibes, to be honest.
Highest of keys, man. Sheesh.
I feel like we're gonna do something like this. The way that it spiked like this, I just feel like, I don't know, that it doesn't want to go down, doesn't want to go up yet. It's just chilling. At least last week's candle saying, I don't know what I want to do. Let's go to the daily and let's look at some volume levels, because I need to see where. Okay, this year it looks like the majority of the volume is all the way at the top of the of this range. So that is that's saying the market is really imbalanced right now for the year, and that a lot of orders technically are probably still sitting way up here. Just the profile usually doesn't go that out of balance. Let's look at this. So this guy up here is, I have a feeling price is going to come back to this area based off of this. And now if this does start to shift down, that will tell us that, hey, a lot of volume just came into the market here. So right now, more volume, what this is telling me is, regardless of what is happening or what has happened, this area has had more volume than any other area this year. So I'm expecting, if this point of control shows up anywhere down here this week, that a lot of volume just came into the market, and get ready for something. Doesn't necessarily mean that the market's gonna like move up or down, but something is gonna, well, it means the market should move up or down, but it doesn't, you don't have a bias off of it yet.
That was funny, I'm not gonna lie.
All right, so that's like an important area way up here. Let's look at this on the 4 hour. Are we getting anything off RB on the daily?
I'm gonna wait for you to do this, and then we'll take a look at it on the daily.
Okay. All right, so on the 4 hour, it did kind of come into this little range area right here, put in this divergence look, and then let's see if we got some indicators over here. Let's look at this. Okay. We are sitting right on some volume level right here. What is this? The month of February is just, this is where all the volume is right there. So if we break above that, that's telling me we're most likely coming up into this level. If we hold it, we got to just kind of wait, or maybe take a risky play thinking this is going to be the low. I like the way EU looks a little better, how it had like a reversal pattern and then started to come out, versus this is just at the bottom of a range. Now it did come into this little point of interest area, definitely, because
the way it fell on the floor on the 4 hour, yeah, I like EU better.
This hit this perfectly as well.
Ooh, that hit that perfectly as well. I think that's like the most. I think that's the similar point of control that I was talking about on the 4 hour on EU that hit and then immediately just turned around.
But this just doesn't have as good as a accumulation look as EU does. I like the impulse. Can't lie. I like the impulse.
Loki looks better though.
Yeah, it's just that I like the impulse.
It's just EU looks better overall. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead and see what are we talking about.
All right.
On the GBPs. Okay. So daily time frame on the GBPs, RB had called for a sell over here on the 10th. And it broke through. It did what I needed it to do. And the confirmations were there. Dang. Like, this barely passed up, but the way how this was down here, it would have checked my boxes. Now I'm not crazy about the double tops right here, but I can't be worried about that when it comes to this edge of mine, right? So, but it came and hit this lower danger zone, which I use as like a form of support, which as we can see right here, it's so funny that we have this zone right here as well. So see what happens there, but there definitely can be more downside if these lows get broken, like you said. But I think that price can potentially continue going upwards. 4 hour time frame on RB, there's really nothing here other than it might be setting up for a potential buy. And this buy right here, it was very interesting, but it played out. But this one over here still has to do a breakout overall, right? So that's basically what we're looking for, a breakout. 1 hour time frame is not going to be anything for us. Yeah, thought so. Like, there's a retest coming, but I'd rather play what we already have cooking up. 9 times out of 10, way better than this. The only time I'd play this if there was nothing to play, and even that, I'll just be like, no, I'm not going to play it. So that's on GU. GU is just, I like what you said, and I agree with you that I'd rather play EU, but the shorts are still available.
I feel. All right, let's look at, we got the Australian dollar, and this has come into last year's point of control damn near and rejected pretty clean. It looks like out of all of the three so far, this has maybe the most downside to it, but it's still the indecision. You know, it's still, I don't know what I really want to do. So let's go into the daily to try to find something. And, you know, in my opinion, it's been going up since October. We should maybe start to look for it to continue to go up at this point. It has kind of corrected a good amount. And this is all of them, you know. It's corrected a good amount. It's corrected a good amount. It's probably trying to make one more leg up. Now, there was some divergence here on the daily, but we have the correction, right? That's what I say. We have a correction now, and it's most likely going to make a move to the upside. Now, I don't know if it's just going to blast off here, or even if it's going to blast off, it could just stop right here. But this is definitely an area on the volume profile where if it, holds here, which it has held, then we're probably moving up into, I don't know, at least this next area. We'll see some other lower time frame if there's some volume right here. But if we're not holding right here, we're slipping down into this 0.74 area, which is where this demand was right here. So let's go into the lower time frame to try to see if there is, and we'll take this off and throw this on. Not really a whole lot of volume up here. You can see last week.
That's interesting.
Last week, when the market did this, it basically, there wasn't a lot of volume, and so it just fell straight through and completed this. And now we're almost balanced again. So
my
the market's almost
are that
back into this balance level.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, I think this might look like a bearish play realistically on the 4 hour that I'd rather play than anything.
Yeah, this one doesn't look near as good as EU for the upside, or near as good as GU even.
Yeah.
For the upside. So,
only thing that I'll give
I
this.
will think. What's that?
Only thing that I'd give this is if you draw a fib right there.
Yeah, I already drew it. I deleted it.
Oh, okay. Wait, which one?
The bullish fib?
Let me see. Yep.
Yeah, I deleted it. It hit the 61.
Okay.
Okay. But I mean, it needs to do a lot more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I will say that if it starts to break something, it has a shot to turn around here because it hit this level. But other than that, I'm not even liking the way. Ooh, it does have a little bit of untested volume on the daily up there.
Ooh.
But that's it. This is like, now it's probably, once it gets into here, like, it's either gonna hit this and go, or hit this and probably chop here.
That's what I'm thinking it's gonna do. I think
I'm
it's
not
gonna
even
chop.
I'm not even a fan of this.
Yeah, let me go and see what are we talking about. I don't really trade the Aussie, but any pair can get it. Any pair can get it. So let's go ahead, bring up the futures. Okay, Aussie, what you got for me? So Aussie, same thing, right? Everything's bearish. It's made the bearish breakout. On the daily time frame, I basically need a retracement. Dang, yeah. I didn't even mean for that to happen, but I need that to happen at this point for the Australian dollar. But now, here's the thing. It just called the sell Friday. It just called for that sell, and it's already hit the mean line. So that makes me like, I'm whatever about it, but I still see the potential for the sell. And there's only one other confirmation right here with the arbitrage RBZ for the arbitrage Z, the level pro. It still needs to break through this ground zero right here. So yeah, I would need to wait for this to climb up, and still need to get my other confirmation. So it's iffy. I'd rather sell this than buy it. 4 hour time frame. It's same type of time, because if it breaks above this, it's literally coming right up here, and I'd still probably look to sell it the way how this. Yeah, I'd rather sell this than buy it, both on technical analysis and on RV. But I would need for a retracement to happen regardless to the upside.
I am feeling that.
Okay.
All right, let's do the yen now. Here we go. Yen put in a very bearish week last week, but it's coming right into last year's point of control, so that's funny. I will mark this off just because you don't come into yearly point of controls very often. But to me, if this is going to move to the upside, first of all, it's just simply has to break this high, and there's not a lot of volume in between. So it will like most likely come up, and I'm thinking the yen is gonna get their ish together eventually, and this is gonna come up here. I mean, eventually, but this is probably what I'm gonna be playing or waiting for, a bigger discount down here to take that market up into this area. But so it's not ready yet. It still has some downside. That fib is kind of useless.
That's like 4 months from now type stuff, maybe.
Right, or
maybe
yeah,
even
just not even close.
Even a month.
But just for sure, last week was bearish. I do expect some more downside this week. Hopefully, it can come up first and then get this downside push. Let's go to the day and see what we got on some monthly. Yeah, so this is the month of February's volume right here, and now that would be kind of the area. Hopefully, most likely it looks like it's probably going to slip into this area and give a bullish reaction, and then I would like to see it come down. That would be
cash
almost
money.
Picture perfect at this point. And
that would be cash money.
It made this nice uptrend, broke it, retested it, starting to drop now. We just need to start to see it kind of continue down. After that, that one's a really clean look. Let's see if we can get an opportunity to see what it's going to do maybe on the 4 hour, if it's ready to even turn around yet. We need to see some bullish divergence, and exactly what we're getting right here. So this is where it gets a little risky, because it's just so bearish from last week that the momentum can continue down. It doesn't just have to stop because there's bullish divergence or because there is a magic volume line in the sky. Like, the price action is saying, hey, I'm very bearish. But there is a risk opportunity right in this area. If the market can come down in between here, or even just pick one and trade it, I do think there will be a bullish opportunity right here for a retracement. That's where it gets a little sketchy, but regardless, if it gets up in here, I'm definitely looking for the bears. No doubt I'm looking for the bears.
All right.
But this is sketchy buys.
All right. Let me go ahead and peep this RB one time. Let's see Japanese yen. What you got for me? Okay, so you're bearish just like everybody else, huh? Figured. All right, so this magentas really smacked. Wait, hold on. Did it? It would have given me
kinda.
No, yeah, it would have.
Yeah,
this is the confirmation. This is the confirmation where you would have sold right there. Stop loss could be right there up here. Yeah, this would have.
And it's giving them magentas now.
It's giving really magentas and still a blue candlestick. So magenta candlesticks means that it's bearish, and the blue bearish candlesticks means, just like what P said, that it could literally just potentially just keep sliding on down, because that still means that there's bears around. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, right now, from the way how this looks, it definitely can keep going. 4 hour time frame, it has a lot more upside. There's no play here, not until even Wednesday possibly.
If there's one more downside push and that EMA continues to go into the lower danger zone.
Now, this 1 hour is risky, so it's kind of like it's there, but it's not worth the play today. But yeah, like P said, that one more push to the downside is likely. So that's boom. That's all there is to it. All right, it's all you.
All right, here we go. We got the chef.
You mean
CHF. And let's remove these drawings real quick. Let's go to the weekly and see what we're cooking with. All right. Kind of ugly price action. You know, it's just kind of been going sideways for a while regardless. It did make this big pump, but That was a while ago, and it's just been going sideways at this point. In my opinion, it's probably coming down, like kind of our opinion towards everything else. We're thinking the dollar might have this bullish opportunity sooner than later, and then these markets sooner than later should probably correct down. But yeah, this has not really anything to look at on the weekly, so let's go into the daily. And really, even when you're looking on the daily, very ugly, right? It does not have much to look at here, just very sideways. But I will say it's kind of distributive, if that's a word.
I like that.
We have like a markup, and then it's either a distribution or reaccumulation, because this is either coming down back into this area to complete the
it's a crown.
The cycle, the how it is, supply and demand cycle, or it's gonna just take off. And to me, it looks like it's just gonna come back down. It's kind of what this pair does,
literally.
But yeah, it kind of does this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. I mean, just look at it, what it does. Forever,
literally, like what you just drew.
And ever. So, whoa.
Whoa there.
Whoa there, boy.
Trading you chill.
So, do I have a real good bias on this right now? Not really. It doesn't have a good look to it. Let's go maybe onto the daily 4 hour, excuse me. And if I had to say what it's so choppy, number one. Man. But this does look more Wyckoff distributive than anything, right? With this kind of like up thrust, and then another like steal off again. It barely took that high out, and then just the way it reversed.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that 4 hour fib is probably what I would play.
Yeah, I'm probably not even going to care to play it, just because it's so... I guess if it lines up with the dollar more, this could be a play because it should, if this is distribution, it really, this is like the last point of supply. You have one more last point of supply, and then it could build up, and then that would be, the actual Wyckoff scheme on that, and coming into this possible level down here would be clean. But other than that, the volume profiles are just so too balanced, everything's been hit. It just doesn't look clean enough for me. I'll probably stay out of it unless it's, like I said, picture perfect. The market is very, very rarely picture perfect. I have learned that the hard way. I don't really care what RB has to say about Chef.
Neither do I, TBH. Huh?
Yeah,
because that thing is consolidating, so is RB.
But now we can get into the S&P, and I'll look at them all real quick. But we'll look at the Dow for whatchamacallit. And you yourself should just flip through them while I'm looking at them too, just so you can see if one of them looks better than the other, because I would like to know.
If you see so
but on the weekly,
that's me. That's all me. Go ahead. Yep, there you go.
All right, here we go. On the weekly, on the S&P, we have put in somewhat of like, hey, we don't really maybe want to go any higher type price action, which is, we've been trying to say that these things might be bearish. They've been looking hella bullish, so it's been making us question it, no doubt in my mind. But with 3 wicks like this on the weekly, I'm pretty much convinced of the bears, and that's me. If it's gonna go bullish, it's gonna fly when it breaks those wicks, just to let everyone know. But with this type of reaction at the fib level that we've been kind of waiting for it to get to, it finally gets here and then gives us this type of a macro look. Yeah,
On
I'm
the
gonna be
weekly?
extremely bearish on the week. Yeah,
On
this
the
is
weekly on RB, all three of those wicks hit the mean line on the on the weekly time frame after it had called for buys. So I definitely want to see this turn around.
Yeah.
Daily time, yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to point that out because that's actually really good confirmation.
And then, sorry, I had some ice in my mouth. Bad habit. Daily time frame, it hasn't necessarily broken structure, but it definitely hasn't made new highs since the beginning of the month. So that's very interesting. And next week we'll be looking at monthly close candles. But you can see this still hasn't necessarily broke this trend yet that it's created. More or less of I guess a channel kind of. So it could still, in the worst way, hold here and then go. No doubt, right? It has technically on the daily not put in a lower low in a minute, but we're looking kind of on this weekly structure, looking at this to be in a complex pullback because we haven't really had a super complex pullback. This might be considered one right here, but every single other one it just will pull back. This was a deep pullback, but not a complex boom, just another roll. But now we kind of have this big pullback here, and we haven't had this type of a move yet in a macro perspective to take this to the downside. Giving me 1 second, I want to go ahead, and this is going to look weird.
I'm not going to hold you. You do not want to look at these on RB. I'm not going to hold you.
Well, that I know. I feel like they could either go bullish or bearish, no doubt, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of consolidating. So there's like, you just do this. There's no point in me sharing, honestly.
I want to look right here because this is where I feel like we could possibly be right now, and this is the 08 drop that I'm trying to maybe compare this to. And I feel like we could be similar in an area like this right now where, the market made these kind of easy move down, pull back, easy move, pull back, easy move, pull back, easy move. But then it has this like big complex pullback, and it's coming right into a very similar. I don't think it hit the 78.6, but it almost did. And I think we're not necessarily, I think we're right here. But if I'm comparing structures, this structure here looks just very familiar or something to where we are right now. And we'll go where we are right now. And it's just, if you
it looks way
that,
too similar. Wow, that's funny.
Yeah,
it just does this hit the 78.6.
Yeah, so very similar structures. I think it's possible.
The only
I'm
thing,
gonna remain bearish. We have been
the only thing
trying
that
to
is
be bearish.
worthy to note of RB right now is that all the indices on the 4-hour time frame, they are all bearish with all signals still pointing to the bearish. It's just that there's no entry for how I get in the trade. But they are all bearish as well. So,
well, speaking of the 4-hour, I'm gonna remove this little channel because we don't really trade channels like that. But on the 4-hour, it has not. I mean, yes, this broke this structure level here, so technically, yes, it broke structure, but the way it broke it was like weird because it just came right back to the top. And then this again, it like wick broke this structure, but it did not necessarily make new highs. So that's what I like to see. I like to see the highs not get broken, so it shows that weakness that, hey, the bears haven't been able to take over like they have been just murdering it. Could this just be a little pullback in this big bearish kind of trend? Well, yes, it definitely could. But could it also be the start of a big rollover? Yes, it definitely could. So this week, I'm probably going to be looking at this play right here. and you can see on the 4-hour the volume profile is perfect for the market to come into this area, hold here, and then roll down. That's what I'll be
RB's here
looking
for it. RB's here for
and
that. RB's like really there for it.
There's 278.6s right here. So I'm gonna, instead of having this zone like this, I'm gonna have it like this, and there's 278.6s right there in that zone. That's a lot of confirmation for us now.
And RB, if you want to add a third one, that on the 4-hour is right at the mean line, which is meeting up right with the which is like slightly right above the RSI line, so it can literally hold right there. So that's another form of confirmation for you.
Perfect. I like that. And then no doubt, could the bulls come in right here? I'm not saying, I don't want to like pass that up. The bulls could just step in pretty quick right here to bring it up there. And it would kind of suck if the market just stopped right here. But with the way this thing has been kind of moving, how choppy it's looked, I'll probably just.
I agree.
It'll be tough. I'll have to figure out what I want to do it in the moment, to be honest. Let's look at NASDAQ because it's very similar. I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I just want to give it a quick look to see if it has any differences. Yeah, this one looks actually a lot more like the S&P did last time it fell. Or no, not a lot more, but man, this thing is very similar look to it. Let's go into the daily. More bullish looking to me than the S&P. So you see how the S&P kind of not coiled up into this level, but the way it, let's see, like A, B, C'd here versus in like this kind of slope versus NASDAQ. It's just like, whoa, NASDAQ has more of a, it came way down right here on this leg and then made a bigger impulse. So to me, this kind of looks more like if when it gets right here, it might make another leg up versus the S&P looks like it wants to like maybe even roll down. So I still see the bearish opportunity here for sure. So I'm not trying to downplay that by any means. Let's see where the yearly.
I see both. Yeah, this one I see both more than with S&P.
I need the yearly volume. Okay.
Yep, right in there.
All right, let's go to the 4-hour real quick. And man, yeah, it's the same thing, really, I guess. It's definitely here for either side. The bulls stepped in major right here. So you can't discount the bulls with this type of trend, no doubt. This could easily just be like a little pullback and then it could take off again. But I like the way it looks on the higher time frames, rejecting in this zone, giving bearish opportunities. So it looks pretty clean to me for the downside for this. If I guess it doesn't come into here first, because if it does just slip down and it gets into this level first, it could just go, okay, we're good to go, and then take off. And then that'll make this trade a little bit sketchier. So, okay, you're not technically, well, I don't know, you might be muted on OBS, but okay, here's okay, so here's the Dow, and the Dow is the most sideways out of all of them, but it did go the most bullish on the impulse before all of them. So it's a kind of an interesting way, interesting look. If it does break, it's going to most likely break below this last year's point of control, which I want it to do, and come way lower.
Yeah, I like that for sure.
Let's go to, but yeah, there's really just nothing to look at on the weekly. It's been so sideways. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The daily, here you can see the sidewaysness, and
I love that word.
it just looks like almost perfect distribution, you know? So once this thing does start to really drop, that's going to be it should be a really clean
Like
drop,
a clean
honestly.
drop for
and
sure.
if the insiders or whoever's running this thing doesn't feel the downside, they're going to probably pump this thing because they're either ready to rock or ready to roll, if you know what I'm saying. Like, this thing is coiled up. So I'm more in favor. I don't really want to see this because it would really be tough to play, but if it did this at any point, we have the most insane signal ever to take this to the downside. But that would really mess up the weekly bias. I would rather it just start to roll down.
I agree.
And give us this like break, give us this bias already, because to me this is enough. We have a buying climax, we have an up thrust, we have doesn't always have to give us a UTAD, you know, it doesn't always have to give that third pop, and this is this is exactly what that was. It just kind of coiled up, and then I want to see this. Now if it does that, I would kind of expect it to be a fake move, to be honest. Yeah, it would probably go into this next level above here into here, but after that I would like to see that to be like more of a fake move, and then the market dies rolling over. But let's continue this bearish bias more or less. The 4 hour looks very clean. It did make a nice pump off this low right here, so that the bulls could be coming in at the beginning of the week, but I'm ready for this thing to start to roll.
Seriously,
kind of a tough structure to find a fib from, to be honest, because we could take it from this one, and that's the same one that we took from the S&P.
From S&P, dang man, I don't want it to be the same thing as what we did late last week.
What's that?
I don't want it to be the same type of situation that happened last week either.
What do you mean?
Remember when we sold US 30 instead of S&P, and S&P smackarood?
Yep.
And then Dow Jones said, "Nah, son, not today."
Right. But this is, I mean, this has the volume sitting right here.
That is true.
So
that's better than it being above the 76.
It's just because that's the middle of this chop. You know, it's not really giving me much right there. Let me go to the 1 hour. Yeah, this is a tough one because I definitely wouldn't want to play this. This is interesting because there's equal highs right there.
Versus where if you put it at that wick, it even
and then
matches
if you're
up.
at this wick, it's not really much, like, it's probably going to fill that wick if it gets here. It's not like
with
there's
this,
volume right there.
with this fib, it looks much more similar to what S&P looks like than the other. That's the only thing.
This is the same fib that I have on S&P right here.
Exactly. That's the problem. I'm like, damn, that's the exact same fib though on S&P.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. This one,
we'll see. We'll see when it gets
these
there.
markets are going to be weird this week, I think. But I didn't even look at
news.
The news, but I don't care. I don't think there's anything super important. NFP is next week. FOMC meetings aren't maybe one this week,
let
but
me see what we got going on.
Nothing important. A lot of the news already happened for the month. There might be like I don't even think there's anything next month.
Let me see what we got over here.
Yeah. All right, weekly on gold. We know that it hit this macro fib level, and it rejected really nice. I'm still, not necessarily in favor of it to drop because it hasn't necessarily corrected yet. It needs to correct at this point. Let's go to the daily and look at that, how it has just no correction at all. So I will be looking for that correction. You see how all the volume of the previous month was way up here.
Australia.
So I
So here's some news.
what
Here's my bad. Here's some news. Today, Monday, Australian
is
dollar.
there any USD news?
USD news. There is global manufacturing PMI, global services PMI, existing home sales, and FOMC minutes on Wednesday.
That's the only important one.
There's also continuing jobless claims, personal income, blah blah blah. Yeah. So yeah, the meeting FOMC minutes and probably the PMI is probably the only important things really for the US dollar.
Not much news this week. That's good.
There's for Canadian dollar, there's a good amount of news. There's inflation rate, CPI trimmed, which
But we don't trade that.
Yeah, we don't trade that. I'm just saying for what we trade, the dollar.
Yeah, and really those other fundamentally right now the market is waiting on any real moves from the dollar. Like even the GBP and all that stuff, when they have big news, it's not even
they'll move, but not like when the dollar's
when the dollar's moving it. So and when the dollar's just the heaviest currency. So when it does start to move, everyone just kind of waits for the dollar and goes based off of how the dollar moves.
Yep.
Okay, gold has some volume levels that are interesting. We have downside here for last month and this month. Let's go into the 4 hour and definitely have some, price action that's showing that it could start to retrace. It needs to technically break these highs
at this point. Yeah,
going to be actually bullish.
I like the volume.
I will say that the volume on this 4 hour is like higher for we have bullish and bullish. It does look like it could start to run up, no doubt, but a risky play could be something like this.
I'm lucky here for it. I would rather prefer if it continued going bullish.
Let's go to let's keep this like this. Let's see.
Yeah, I definitely would rather prefer it to break that high. If it can, that'd be solid.
Yeah, there's a lot of volume up here still, but last week, here's where the majority of the volume is. And there's still some to the downside. So I think if it makes one more move, if we do get that one more move to the downside, it's probably going to be a fake move just because of the amount of divergence and just because the amount of imbalance this market has created. It should come back into balance this out. But timing that would take forever. First of all, I'm not saying I would hold it that long. I would just give myself it would give me a good bias. But right now, I think it's a little bit too soon to just say I want to buy gold. I'm not gonna lie.
The price action looked nice.
Price action the momentum is looking good. It might be time. We have 1, 2, and then the third kind of fake out, and then the big move up.
I just don't like. Only thing I don't like is literally how this made this low after breaking this, and then went up like that, did these equal highs, and then pushed down like that. If it's doing the same thing right here, that'd be sucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With just like coming to these equal highs, faking out, then dropping, and then continue to drop, that'd suck.
I would say if anyone's playing gold this week to the upside, since it's so bearish right now on like I would say even the weekly looked kind of a little bearish still. The daily's still bearish. The momentum, at least, you need to watch for I would say if it's going to move, you should be able to catch the whole move though. Even though it's super bearish, since it needs to retrace a good amount, it should make like a full extension.
That would be
So if you
lovely.
do try here first and it fails, and then you catch it, you see it make another impulse. I'm not saying to try twice, but if you do try twice, you should try to hold it for a full extension move so you can make your money back and some.
Facts.
And that's just a way of playing it when it's kind of in this area. But I think it's not. It looks pretty decent for a possible
Yeah,
move to the upside.
let me throw up this RB real quick for y'all.
Yeah, let me look at
See
this.
what are we
Okay.
talking about on Mr. Goldilocks.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's for the yen,
Oh, I was like, damn.
but it's literally the same thing. So, yeah, go ahead and keep saying ooh, because I agree with what you were saying. We could play that buy play. Daily time frame came right to this mean line, rejected off of it. I still need a retracement off of this RSI line for this sell. So that bullish move wouldn't be terrible for the daily. 4-hour time frame, just need these equal highs to get broken at this point. If these equal highs get broken, we're gonna have a nice 4-hour buy play where it'll call for that buy. The retracement, this is where the entry would be at for RB, but I'd rather prefer it to come down lower for that Fibbo play that we have, and then boom, take it to the extendos just like you mentioned, P. I would love that.
What does the 1 hour look like?
The 1 hour is probably the 1 hour is probably what he called for a buy.
Yeah.
And it's holding right here, so it could definitely reject here and then go bearish. But there's nothing to say that it won't literally come up to the second or third deviation. So, yeah, that was I agree with what I like that the biases are matching up. I like that a lot.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. We got Bitcoin in the mix.
Bitty Bitcoin.
All right. Weekly time frame. We are on the futures chart, and the weekly has put in some substantial volume. Something definitely worth looking at. I am gonna have to say, I think I am, with this type of volume on the weekly, breaking highs like that is the most bullish signal possible that we could possibly see on Bitcoin right here. Coming into an area of low volume, breaking and closing, because this is a break and close in my opinion, above this weekly high. Yeah, I mean, it is not in my opinion, it's in everyone's opinion. Breaking and closing above this week, I guess January's, all of this year's high, making new highs of the year with the highest volume of the year. There's nothing more bullish than that. I can't stress that enough. So what I have to, per rules, per price action, I don't care volume, if I'm going to get faked out or not. I'm going to be looking for some type of way that Bitcoin, to get into a buy for Bitcoin to hit 30K. I don't know how yet. I really don't.
I love that you said that, how.
This is just extremely bullish. So let's go and it's not even like I still see a bearish opportunity right here, but this is telling me, hey, look for buys, just straight up. So let's go to the daily. Here's the price action on the daily. You got this up move, you got up move. You got this up move, you got this up move. And you rarely, I'm telling you, you rarely see when price makes a new high, you get another new high. You like rarely see that in the volume. Now, granted, this kind of high volume is more or less of a doge or rejection candle, but still that weekly close is kind of what I'm looking at. And the one thing that I don't love about this is the divergence. You know, there is divergence coming in. So it's literally a 50-50 play, but the weekly volume is what you have to focus on. The book is open, wide open. We'll look at RB after. The book is wide open, right? In the chapter, this is just a page of the book right here. This is just a page in the book. The chapter is saying the price should go up. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking we're going to do something like this, where price makes a little bit more of a retracement, hopefully. And then it makes one more pump to the 30K level. We're going to get this move like this. And then something like this happening on Bitcoin. So let's go down to maybe the 4 hour. Now there is showing a lot of volume sitting right here still from January or last week. That's interesting. Let's look at that on maybe the 4 hour. A lot of volume sitting down here. That's not going to go away. That's
implanted,
stuck. And so is this right here, stuck. And so is this right here, stuck. So there's a lot of volume to the downside still.
Another one.
Just definitely still an opportunity for this to drop, but as long as you can see,
right here,
even though these levels are still here. Yeah, that's still there, I guess. But even though these levels are still here, the most attractive price is still this. So that's why it's important to have this whole thing right here and these levels here, because you can now see, even though you have this level, this level, this level, this is still the most important price. If this volume profile had more price, this look right here, I would think this is going to come bearish. I would. But until the volume profile shows me differently, I'm going to remain bullish on Bitcoin. And then once it does everything it needs to do, hopefully it can come back to 12K eventually, and these will get tapped in. But this week we'll be looking forward to just continue this push. We do not want this low to break. That would mean that whole weekly candle is going to get erased. If that happens, guys, we have a great, even better opportunity knowing what's going to happen. Because if that full weekly candle with that much volume gets erased, that is a complete fake out in prices coming all the way down to 12K. I'm talking it's going to come faster than you even think. And where the indices are right now, you got to kind of watch out right now. You got to kind of watch out, because if the indices tank, this is not going to go up more than likely. And it's kind of weird because right now Bitcoin has made such a big move compared to the indices. I'm not sure if people are unloading stock, putting it into crypto right now or what, but you know, a lot of the altcoins have done insane moves, and it could be something like that going on. You know, Bitcoin was created because of inflation, due to inflation in 08, so 09, so it could be a situation like that.
You know what? You know who I haven't heard from in a while, bro?
Who?
El Salvador. I have not heard a single thing from them in a minute. I wonder if they still buying.
Said El Salvador.
You like that savageness, don't you?
That was funny. And there is some untested volume right here on this big bullish day.
Ooh.
I would be expecting that to be the area, but really, I said it on the channel a while ago. I'm looking for this to ABC down into here, and then once it gets here, flatten out, and then make this run to the upside. And if it doesn't do that, I'm not gonna buy it. If it does something like this, you know, it gets a little sketchier because it kind of has this distribution pattern setting up right here, and it could easily just slip through and then give me the entry and then go. So I don't really want to play a buy stop this week, because I simply see this distribution pattern starting to possibly set up, But if we get down into these fib levels, this distribution pattern can go to hell. And I'm looking for this swing to do something like this, come into the 78.6 and swing up at least, something like that. We would look for the extension. We would look for the extension up into the next level of volume, which would be, let's come over here and find this. First of all, we got a gap. And that's always a good level, but right above the gap even, there's untested volume here and untested volume here. So that's 29 and 30K, and that's just the levels that we're gonna be looking for this next swing to bring us to. Now, even if this is all incorrect, okay, which no one truly like 100% is going to be able to tell you what's going to happen in the market ever. This is going to be kind of the next area where we'll be looking to get into the market again.
Yep.
And then if that's incorrect,
then 12K.
But either way, guys, this price, this area in this market, it's just you hopefully
you want to be active.
It doesn't do like I mean, for us, I hope it does a 3K, hits 3K again. But like, I don't know if this might be the bottom. Like, it really might be. And so we might not technically ever see these prices again. And you don't hear me say that very often. Because I'm very patient, right? And so whenever it is that time, it's like, it's time to go, kind of. But it's giving these bullish signs, like on the weekly. Like I said, let's just look at it one more time. This type of volume, pick up this volume signature right here. It's very clean, very clean. And let's just look at compared to the last bull run that we saw. This is cleaner than this. So just note that and know that the volume that we're seeing right now is technically more than the volume that we saw back here when the market started to pick up. Just something to note. And then it has, like I've shown in the past, it has similar like volume signature to the pickup that it had way back when. And here's like
in 2019, the pickup before the drop-off, before the true pickup.
Here's like the candle that I'm looking at that it looks very similar to, but it just didn't break the structured low that it made right here, kind of. But we have this big candle pop out, and we have the big volume boop. I feel like we're in a similar structure as that, but we just didn't break the move. We got the big candle, the big volume, but it didn't necessarily break the structure. But I do feel like it's possible that it could start to run. I don't even care, to be honest. I just want to try to catch a trade because this thing is moving with some high volatility. Now, what sucks about this whole thing is just the fact that Bitcoin has to look a little bit more bullish while the indices are looking a little bit more bearish. That's the whole kind of mix up right there, which kind of sucks. But we'll just see. They don't always perfectly correlate. Nothing does. So sometimes you got to just kind of go with which one looks better. And if you're wrong, you're wrong, and it's all good. Ethereum, same thing. We're not going to really evaluate it too heavy, but let's remove some drawings and just look at it really quick. Volume signature picking up. That's good. Bullish candle. About to break these highs. Picking up. Doesn't have as clean as a volume profile. To me, this looks like if it does break up, it's going to do dumb numbers just based off the volume profile. There's just not a lot in between. It's going to move faster than Bitcoin probably. This thing will double while Bitcoin kind of does like 75%, I bet. Either way,
More than likely.
this thing has a chance to run up too. I'm not really too focused on it. Oil, really sideways, really difficult market right now to trade. I would just maybe wait for it to break out or do something better. Let's go to the daily with it really quick. Did we look at RB on Bitcoin?
No. Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and do that. My bad.
Yeah, I want to look at that real quick.
Okay. All right. So on RB, going up to Bitcoin, 4-hour time frame, bullish. No way to play it, but bullish as hell. Daily time frame, it had big call of the buys over here, but we would not have been looking to buy it because it was underneath. But this weekly, you about to love it.
Oh shit!
This weekly,
The first time it's called. Wow, that's the
the
most.
first time it's called. It called it out last week even. Before this weekly breakout, but this is the first time it's called this buy since. I mean, it called a buy right here, but this wasn't a valid buy. But this was the last time it called a valid buy when it really took off. And then before that, this was back in May 2020, and before that, this was back in May 2019.
It's called the bottoms of every single bull trend.
So we'll see what goes on, but right here, right now, confirmations are here for this bullish move right now. At least up to 40K, which is so funny because we've talked about this multiple times already without even looking at RB.
Right. Wow. Okay. What is 4 hours say again?
4 hour, it's gone. It's nowhere near setting up for a sell.
So if it comes back to that mean line, would you play it?
If it comes back to this right here, this mean line, no. The 1 hour even is not really there. Man, I would need to see this RSI line right here. I need to see this black RSI line climb up right here. And then I need to be seeing price breaking out of this RSI line, this black RSI line, then retesting it for me to sell it. Honestly.
Oh no, I'm talking about for the buys.
For the buys, man, at this point, just give me this. At this point, yeah, actually, yeah. I think I would for the buys because the way how that weekly looking.
So that's right at that 61.8 then.
Yeah, basically. So I'm down for it. Cause man, this weekly, man, you don't get you don't get this every week.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
Like last time it called for a freaking signal and the signal itself super smacked was back here in February 2022. So isn't that funny? A year later.
Well, damn.
Right.
That just puts some
more perspective into these buys we talking about.
Dang, bro, that's interesting.
All right, that's all you, bro.
That makes it very interesting.
Right?
Okay. Well, yeah, here's oil. It's just ranging. I wouldn't
look at this
really
on
mess
RB.
with it.
I wouldn't look at this. I'm not looking at this on RB. I already know what it's gonna look like. Garbage. Oh wow, pesos. Oh, this is silver. Never mind.
Silver has some confirmation for that
For that gold buy.
Gold buy. If silver comes down here, and is holding above here.
Yep.
While gold is in that area, then that's a really good confirmation because this is a technical like head and shoulders if I've ever seen one.
For real.
After inside of a falling wedge.
Yeah, I would love that buy.
I mean, this is just a beautiful look in right here on this demand. So,
oh wow, yeah. Is that off of 76?
Kind of picture perfect right here. Actually,
is that off of 76?
It might be actually.
It is. That's fire.
Yeah. So that's a lot of confirmation for a possible move up on gold. I do even like the volume that it made here on this bullish candle. So, or
Yeah.
silver, but regardless, you know, confirmation for both of them technically.
Yeah.
Right here, and really silver looks better. So we might even mess around and look at silver for this week.
Bet.
And that is gonna be it for this week. You know, let's just look really quick at I want to look at EG, I think. Or is it UJ that I want to look at? No, EG, I think. Well, first of all, the pound, GJ, this thing is like really in an interesting level when it comes to the volume profile. How if it breaks above here,
It needs to hurry up and break.
There's like a lot of volume to the upside and none right here. So
at this point, it just needs to break. It's been annoying. It needs to break.
But it's weird because then it has this divergence coming up on the 4 hours. So I don't know what this thing is going to do. This is what I was coming at. I like this to continue to the upside possibly.
I'm here for it.
I liked it a lot more last week, but it did, you know, come into this fib, hit the 78.6, and so if it comes back into this level down in here, I think I'm looking for a possibility for this to continue to move to the upside on some kind of boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm here for
and
that.
have it continue up like that, off this kind of trend like this. So that looks possible. It definitely could, you know, start to reverse here, but I don't really see that possibility just yet. So, looking for that to continue up, which would mean, you know, GJ comes up a little bit and then probably falls. So, gold, Bitcoin, and then just let me look and see what Bitcoin's doing on the spot market. Oh, goodness. Hopefully this thing just doesn't take off yet, because that would be just hilarious. I could see it doing that, but to me, this amount of what I'm seeing is just rejection, 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 rejection.
Why does it look Wyckoff-ish now?
It looks very, very Wyckoff-ish now.
Right?
But
wait, hold on. This does not look like as Wyckoff-ish as it did earlier this morning.
I still think that once this kind of low gets taken out, because there's probably a lot of people that bought this low with their stop losses, here, this might have got most of them out, but one more pump down here, and I think this is going to take off.
Yeah.
Just there's.
I mean, wouldn't that be literally the same exact thing that happened to us when we sold?
Yep.
Exactly. So.
Boom. So come into the and I doubt the 78.6 even gets hit.
We can play off the 61 or the 71. I don't mind.
Yeah, the 61.8 is probably going to be it this week. If it hits the 78.6, it's just got to maybe be another position you got to add.
Yeah, you got to double
because
up.
Yeah, if you're already in here and it comes in here, you should add, because you might have caught the bottom of the big boy run. I'm not even kidding. Which I wouldn't expect anyone to try to hold that, but it's just, you know, a possible confirmation right now. You don't get these kind of confirmations every day. I wish there wasn't any divergence with this, but what I will say is this pattern is what happens. You will get like a rising type wedge pattern at the beginning of the psychology chart pattern. So if I psychology chart pattern,
I cannot see what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Share this. Let's go here. And this guy right here that we all talk about, you see how it makes a pump and then it will create a rising wedge before the next big pump. And I feel, did I just completely get out of trading view? I think so. But I feel like that's kind of like what could be happening here, with the way Bitcoin has pumped, and then it might be creating this
Pumperoo
move here
status.
before another pump. It's possible. It's possible. So
We'll see what
we'll
happens.
see. But that's it for us tonight, guys, on Chart Talk. Tomorrow's episode 30 days in a row.
Yes, sir.
So just make sure you give us a like, subscribe, let your friends know that we'll be looking for trades, exact trades that we'll be taking this week. So
All
we'll see y'all
guys.
tomorrow.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for hopping